Good day, fair citizens of YouTube. This is my one day off from being an arborist and being the official liaison between the world of the trees and the world of human beings, making sure trees don't grow into power lines and bring down the entire grid so you can't play Xbox or freeze your frozen waffles and pancakes and all that good stuff that comes along with living in the empire. So now that I've worked out and cleaned our little place here, I feel entitled to speak about things that I have no power over because it makes me feel good and it's fun. So actually the first topic is Facebook. In one of my last videos I said that black holes do not exist, and I'm slightly wrong. There are actually two black holes that I've identified in this known universe, one of which is Facebook. It is a vortex into which time and energy go into and nothing productive comes out. It fits the definition of all criteria of a black hole. And the other is American politics. All energy that goes into that, completely wasted, gone forever. The deep state rolls on, unelected bureaucrats keep managing our lives, and the benefit of this particular incarnation of the cycle is at least we're getting some damn entertainment for our money. But otherwise, still just as useless as ever. So don't get too worked up about it. It doesn't matter. I mean, Trump is going to be the nominee, and Hillary is also likely going to be the nominee, which pretty much means that Trump is going to be the next president of the United States of America. Damn. Y'all didn't see that coming. How do you like democracy now? Anyway, speaking of democracy, I realized that it's been over a year now that I got banned from Facebook, and I've never quite explained myself. So here it is, the short version of how Mango Thunderslice got banned from Facebook. The extremely short version is that I was too much of an anarchist, and for years and years and years I've just been using that platform as a broadcast platform for anarchist propaganda, helping to unravel people's faith and trust in authority in the state at all levels, in all its incarnations. And, here and there I'd say I helped wake up a few minds, but ultimately mostly a giant waste of my time. It's a black hole. Nothing can escape. And but basically the slightly elongated version is that after I changed my name on Facebook from my legal slave name, I liked the name that I was born with, but the fact is all of our legal names are legal slave names. The birth certificate that we're given at birth says on the bottom not to be used for identification, but driver's license, we need the birth certificate. Passport, we need the birth certificate. Everything is built on top of that we use for identity, but the birth certificate itself says not to be used for identification purposes. Okay, so basically I just wanted to change my name to Mango Thunderslice. That's kind of a side point. I do what I want. That's first and foremost. There are reasons, but ultimately it's because I want to do what I want to do. And so I changed my name to Mango Thunderslice. And, I had it on there for months, probably almost a year as Mango Thunderslice. And then one day I got a message from Facebook. Basically, they said my account was locked and I could not access it until I provided proof of identity of a legal name. So I did not feel that Facebook was entitled to demand identification from me. They're not a lawyer, they're not a doctor, they're not in a hospital function, they're not in a banking function, they're a freaking website. They're a social network. It's like the most inconsequential thing you could possibly do is have a Facebook account, and they're saying, I'm sorry sir, we're gonna need 2 forms of ID. And I was like, okay. So I dropped some knowledge on them, and this video is going to accompany a blog post, basically elucidating the exchange, if you want to have that word apply in this manner. But basically I just got hit with 7 or 8 robotic responses from Facebook. So I don't even know if it's a real human, but they're little robot minions. And basically they demanded ID. They would not let me in. I hit them with some knowledge about how the legal name is fraudulent to begin with, and just to play around and see what would happen. And they didn't care, as you might expect. They didn't care about all the information. Eventually, I actually made up an ID and it'll be on the blog post. I'm sure you'll all enjoy it. A work ID for Mango Thunder Slice, because they said a work ID was one of the things that would be valid form of ID for Facebook security. And I am the owner of my own company, Callisto Biofuel, renewable fuel company, which is dormant right now, but that's beside the point. I made myself an ID under Mango Thunder Slice for that company. And I showed a picture of an Amazon package that I had ordered under Mango Thunder Slice, and technically that should have satisfied their criteria, but still, no, Mango's too much of an anarchist. Can't have him on the interwebs telling everybody how much the government blows. Not that they don't already know. But anyway, yeah, so I've been permanently locked out of my account. All I really asked for was to have the zip file. They can condense your whole account. I posted a lot of poems, love sonnets to Space Panther, witty little things, that I enjoyed posting. And I just kind of wanted to have that as kind of a historical record to look back on, years from now, which I don't have, but it doesn't matter. I'm constantly creating new, ever better poems, and I'm sure that I'll be able to remember whatever was so useful from all of those completely asinine points that I made to an echo chamber of nobody. So anyway, I don't really mean to talk shit on Facebook too much, because it is really awesome for keeping in touch with friends and family that are thousands of miles apart. But I'm just saying that since I haven't had Facebook, I worked out this morning. I cleaned the house. Like, if I had Facebook, not a judgment of it per se, but I wouldn't have done a goddamn thing this morning. It would have been completely wasted. So anyway, that's how I got banned from Facebook, and why I haven't been on ever since. But it's nice because I still have Space Panther as my Facebook secretary. I get to know all the good things, all funny memes that come through, and all of the bullshit I'm just blissfully ignorant of. And so yeah, basically, if you want to hear my little conspiratorial theories on this, ever since the internet got made a federal utility, or that's how it's being regulated now, ever since 2014, they're now phasing out internet anonymity, because of course the greatest threat to state power right now is the fact that people can access all the information in the whole history of the world on their computer for relatively inexpensive price per month. Could be cheaper, but that's a different post. And anyway, my belief is that they're phasing out internet anonymity, meaning they want every user ID, every IP address attached to a legal name. So nobody can use the internet and make little comments and not be known. It's all going to be tracked and regulated to make sure that you're afraid of whatever you say. And of course, if you think that really vibes with the good old USA and what it was founded on, you're hopelessly programmed, and maybe one of these videos will help crack that little shell inside your brain and help you to wake up and realize that there are people in this world who don't want you to be empowered. They want you to be a grateful little slave who will take whatever wage or, shitty food, GMO or whatever, and just eat it and never question anything and just pay your taxes and move along. In case you haven't noticed, that person is not me. And despite all the attempts throughout public schooling to make me like them, didn't work. So anyway, here's basically the summary for those who are wondering why the hell I haven't been on Facebook for over a year now, and why that happened. And thanks, Facebook, for going on your little fascist bent and your little robot minion. That was really worthwhile experience. I hope he got something from it, because I got a hell of a lot of entertainment. So yeah, that's it. Much love and wholeness and balanced vibrations.